It's sunny, the skies are blue, but the fog's out this morning. A little frost on the ground, it got cold last night. There's Polly Lake this morning. Jack pine buds. 7:55, we're on the trail leaving Polly Lake, heading to Seney. Should finish today. It's gonna be a beautiful day for hiking today. Probably 40 degrees this morning. We joined up with a little Fox River again, so we'll be following this for a while. Here's a nice white pine. Feeling good this morning, Paul?
Awesome.
This is a really nice area following the river. Pretty thick, a lot of alder thickets along there. Trail is very well marked along this section. There's blazes about every 50 feet, so impossible to get lost. A lot of trout swimming about down there. Walking up on a ridge on a lot of this trail, and you don't get many chances to see the river. 8:50, came up to the road. There's parking in here. There's a fire pit. There's a river down there, but it is so thick with alder thickets and stuff along the edge that the trail doesn't normally follow it. In fact, I'm off trail right now, just following the edge of the river. Pretty cool back in here. I've never seen so many star flowers in bloom before. We reached the road, 9:30, crossing the Fox River on a bridge. Good place to fill up on water under this bridge. 9:50, coming up to this main intersection. State Forest campgrounds down that way, Wagner Taylor Road, Dam Road down that way. Heading this way, and I should hit Fox River Campground next. And just walk down this road for a minute, and there's a turn off here. Have to really watch out for this one because there's no signs on the road or anything. As usual, no trail, just walking through the undergrowth. Been walking through this jack pine forest for about 10 minutes after leaving the road, and a lot of bumpy ground from the old logging operations. And this is definitely the most boring part of the trail and the most difficult to follow. It's all been clear cut in here, but they do have blue marks, but you gotta look for them. There's just enough trees left standing out here to follow the blazes. That's just what I walked through. Kind of miserable. It looks like it's ending up ahead. But thank you, trail crew, for your good job with the blazes. Finally getting out of the clear-cut area and the dirt road leading into it and heading back into the woods. This is pretty much what it's been like since I left the clear-cut. No trail, just the blazes. Passing this well-used gravel road, and the trail goes straight across. Pathway. Started up here off the map on Polly Lake and dropped Paul off there. He's taking a break. I'm going to pick him up there later in the car. And I'm crossing this road right now. Now I'm going to start following the river. That last stretch from the parking area to the road I just passed was probably my least favorite part of the trail so far. It wasn't all bad, but the clear cut wasn't very fun. But I think it's getting in a little nicer area in here now once I get along the river. Hooray, there's the little Fox River again. Hopefully I get some nice views of the river on this section. If you ever tried kayaking it would be very difficult with all the deadfalls. Very green and lush down here in the river floodplains. And very mosquito-y down here. You don't realize how many mosquitoes there are till you stop. Then they're swarming. Nice stand of marsh marigolds. It's 11 o'clock. There's the river. Mosquitoes are eating me alive right now. some big fir trees. In 1919, Ernest Hemingway returned from World War I after an injury in Europe and fished the Fox River. His fishing trip was the basis for his story, Big Two-Hearted River. And he was actually on the Fox River, but he said he named the story Big Two-Hearted River either to keep his fishing spot a secret or because the name just sounded more romantic. The Fox River is a 36.5 mile tributary of the Manistee River. Came up from the river, and I think I'm nearing Fox River Campground. Yes, this is a Fox River Campground. $20 a night to camp. So far it's empty. Looks like a nice campground, except for possibly the mosquitoes. The self-registration area, and they got a hand pump, and it is working right now. And they have a men's and women's outhouse. Trail goes right through the campground. You got river access from the Fox River Campground. Six more miles to the car. Still walking along the river. When you run into a big deadfall, it really starts eating up the time on the hike. Sometimes you have to go quite a ways around and stir up a lot more mosquitoes. I think I'm leaving the Fox River. We're gonna start heading south into who knows where. Hopefully not a clear cut. Crossing back over the road that goes to the Fox River Campground, which is down that way. Just walking through a kind of open jack pine, red pine forest. I think those are coyote tracks. I turned onto this dirt road at 11:53. Not sure how long I'll be walking on it. I think these are bear. Well, I was hoping to keep dry feet today, but I just failed. Can't walk around this without walking through swamp. Lots of water on the road. I didn't expect to get wet feet walking on a road section. Walking through a middle of a swamp on this road, and its mosquitoes are just ferocious along here. They've come out in full force. I don't know if you can see them all very well. As soon as I stop, they're all over me. Just past the sanctuary boundary. I think it's a sanctuary for mosquitoes. This is what a lot of the Upper Peninsula used to look like. Wetland before it was all developed. And I gotta find a way around this. And I'm not gonna do it without wet feet. I decided to take off my shoes. Water is full of tadpoles. A lot of them. I've been walking along this road for an hour now, and it seems like it'll never end, but it's been slow going because of all the water I'm trying to navigate constantly. $12.56, came up to this number 4, and I'm not sure if this is a turnoff, but this road section has been the toughest part of the trail so far. Seems like it never ends. Walking in the sand. I gotta check this out. It might be it. Yeah, I think this is the trail. On that, the trail I just took just dead ended with that number 4, and I found another blaze down this road. So I don't know what's going on right now. Keep walking this way. Found some more markers down the main road. Here's a bridge. And hooray! I think I found it. That was a long walk on that road. I was beginning to think there was 2 trails marked in blue, and I'd gotten off the Fox River Trail, but I think I'm good to go now. There's some wintergreen with a berry still on it. Following the edge of a clear-cut area after I got off that road. But it's marked well. 125. Came out to another road, says turn right. I see a marker up ahead, going back into the woods. Back in the woods. Kind of nice, no more roads or clear cut. Coming into a cedar swamp, really pretty area. And you can follow the trail if you just keep your eye down on the ground. Came up to the Little Fox River again. Very pretty. Arrived at the parking lot near Seney Park. There's my car. Windows are all intact. There's the end of the trail. Paul's back at the parking area a couple miles past Fox River Campground. He had a blister and some issues, so I'm gonna go pick him up. I'm heading over to pick up Paul. Heading down this road up here. Here's the Fox River Campground, and I gotta keep going a couple more miles to the parking spot. Here's the turn off where Paul is at. I think I see his tent set up along the road up here. That's him. Are you all rested up?
Yeah, you should see my toe, man. It is like, I can give you a picture, but then you'll have to add a graphic image.
It's a good thing you didn't go today, because some of it was nice along the river, but the majority of it was horrible. The only bar in Seney is closed for intermission, and there is no restaurants, so we are eating at Manners Stop and Go because of sucks. Seney began as a railroad stop in 1881 and unloaded passengers who traveled a footpath to Grand Marais. There's the Seney Museum and Historic Railroad Depot. In 1882, logging companies moved into Seney and it grew to over 3,000 people. During that time, it gained a reputation for being rowdy and dangerous and became a hotbed for fights, booze, prostitution, killings, and gambling. This is the old Main Street where there were 21 saloons, 10 hotels, a church, drugstore, meat markets, general merchandise stores, and gambling shacks. By the late 1800s, the timber was gone and Seney withered down to about 200 residents. So we're heading over to Boot Hill Cemetery, see if we can find Snapjaw Small's grave. Seney's historic Boot Hill Cemetery. Snapjaw Small, who was a crazy man in Seney. He would do anything for a dare for money, and he'd bite heads off animals, eat animal manure, stick his head in a spittoon, and he finally got buried in Boot Hill when he bit the head off another lumberman's live owl. These graves are all sunken in because the wooden caskets they used are all decomposed. Here's the only headstone in here, T.H. Clouds, black clouds, miles of clouds of these things.